The News with Jessica is sponsored by Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. And by Stitcher Radio. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ. Okay. Kony.
Are you all right?
No,
You're developing like an asthma attack.
It's not developing. It's been here for a month. It just sounds a lot worse.
I'm just glad I'm not sitting next to her to like have her turn her face into me and do it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm coughing.
But at least she covers her face like some people that, unlike some people who don't while they're on their iPhone.
So, Kony 2012 co-creator Jason Russell appeared to be masturbating in public and vandalizing cars in San Diego.
Yeah, he went nuts. You saw the video?
He went insane, like absolutely insane. He had this huge, I don't know, what would you call it? Like a
viral video.
A viral video to bring Kony down. And so
Joseph Kony.
Yes. And he was hoping that, people would donate and spread the word, and he was going to do it with all basically new media, young people. It would be really kind of like the people's fight. However, he seemed to have gone completely nuts the other day. He was found completely naked masturbating on a corner in San Diego.
In somebody's car.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that they're saying that his wife stated that at first they thought it was some sort of drugs or alcohol, but his wife stated that it was psychosis. He suffers from psychosis. Apparently now he's a luchador from Mexico.
God.
So
what is psychosis actually? What is it?
You see things.
He's a psycho, sis. I don't know. I mean, I think he's just a psycho. I thought that's what that meant. But he's the one who put together that Kony video that everybody's been posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
I still have not watched it.
It's a really well-produced video.
I still have not watched it. You know, it's not that I don't care about, like, African kids or whatever.
It's a really good video.
I'm sure it is.
Very well done video.
I'm sure it is. I still haven't watched it yet. Let
me see if I can find the video and I can play the video on.
But then you kind of feel, I don't know if you felt the same way, Andrew, but like you watched the video and you felt like this sense of like wanting to do something, and then you watched him naked on the corner masturbating and you lost all that.
Here, let me see if I have the video.
Yeah, I could see that. And what did you say he had to do? Wait.
Oh, here it is. You ready for this? It's blurred out, by the way, people. So you're not going to see
blurred out?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. This is the video.
What?
All I can think of is his kid.
What's that?
He has a kid. A really cute kid from the video.
What I find funny is that he becomes a gay man when he's in psychosis. Look at him. Look at that hand movement.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? The fucking guy lost his shit, and he became a gay guy in the middle of it.
It's funny, like when people lose their shit, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get naked. There was one guy in my neighborhood who got naked, who went crazy, got naked, and stood in the parking lot of the local church.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
What they're saying now.
When I got out of school that day too.
He was screaming something about the devil, dropping F-bombs. I mean, he's in a psychiatric ward and he's apparently getting treatment now. But what's interesting is that there's a huge voodoo type thing going on in Uganda. So now they're saying like maybe they put like a hex on him, like a voodoo curse on him, that caused him to lose his mind.
That's some real shit, man. Like seriously,
like isn't that weird?
I wouldn't fuck with anybody that can do voodoo. I don't believe in a lot of shit, but for some reason that shit, like, I think that happens. I think voodoo happens.
This guy lost his mind. I understand being under pressure, but to the point that you rip your clothes off and you start screaming in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
about the devil.
That's insane.
That's insane, and there has to be something going on there. Like,
yeah.
if he suffered from mental illness to begin with, I could understand that.
Right.
But apparently, I don't think he did. I mean, unless I'm wrong, unless we didn't know about it.
You know, you start like I'm feeling like scared about that shit you just said about voodoo, man.
Like, I'm looking at his wife stated. Let's see. His wife said that Jason will get better. He has a long way to go. I guess he's not good at all. But we are confident he'll make a full recovery. He is and will remain under hospital care for a number of weeks. And after that, the recovery process could take months until he's fully able to step back into the role with invisible children. So, like, this guy has lost his mind. They said doctors are treating Russell for a brief reactive psychosis, an acute state brought by extreme exhaustion, stress, dehydration, the family said. I don't know. I mean, that's like extreme.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
No.
Like,
No,
to the
I
point that
can't.
you're that exhausted, that dehydrated.
And he seems so well put together
He seemed like a put-together guy.
on the video. I
There's something else
granted,
going
he
on
edited
there.
it, but he seemed
Something else.
great.
The doctor says this is common experience.
This is common?
Yeah, this is a common experience given the great mental, emotional, and physical shock his body has gone through in the last couple of weeks. So I guess this happens a lot. This is normal.
Okay.
Well, I don't understand. What shock?
Yeah, what physical
What
shock?
what physical shock has his body gone through? He has an organization. He wanted publicity. He got the publicity.
Right.
And guess what? With any kind of publicity, any kind of thing like this, there's going to be negative press.
Right.
So you should have been prepared for that. And you deal with it. The guy lost his mind. He literally lost his mind.
Feeding the homeless is now banned in most major cities across America.
What was that?
Feeding the homeless is now banned in major cities across America.
Make it sound like like you're feeding like monkeys at the zoo, like putting your hand out with like food in it, like
Right.
or like a can
Well,
opener.
now
Here you go.
even the cities that haven't banned it have put so many requirements on it that acquire expensive permits and taking food preparation courses before you can feed the homeless.
Why?
Oh, what is it like throwing rice at a wedding now? Like you have to throw bird seed. Like
Are you
this
kidding
Well,
certain
that
things you
kills
got-
the birds.
Why can't
I know
you
that's
feed
what I'm
them?
saying. Like now you gotta like it's like you can't just like give them like poison pizza. It's like you gotta make sure it's not
I
like
guess.
poison.
I don't know.
What is wrong with why can't we feed them?
Like
I
we
don't
can't give
understand.
them
Like, they
we
gotta-
can't give them 3-day-old pizza.
Oh
It's
my
gotta
God
be fresh,
forbid they
a
get
fresh
trans
slice.
fats. God forbid the homeless guy that hasn't eaten in 3 days has any kind of trans fats with him.
I know.
You don't want to kill him, do you?
You know,
But can you imagine? You need a permit.
What are you trying to do? Kill this man with heart disease?
Right. You need a permit to help a man out. How ridiculous is that?
Welcome to America.
All right. So George Clooney says that he was Brad Pitt after being arrested.
What do you do?
He was taken into custody last week after protesting outside of an embassy in Washington, D.C. And Access Hollywood apparently is putting this story out that after he was arrested, he told authorities that he was Brad Pitt.
Brilliant.
And, he finally gave up the gig once he got to jail. And he said, and everybody that was at jail with him said that he
Why
was
would
like
you
so
arrest?
wonderful.
Why, first of all, why would you arrest George Clooney?
I know. I don't know.
Like, why do you arrest him?
I don't know. So a funeral home employee was arrested for allegedly molesting a corpse.
That happens a lot.
Yucky.
It happens more than you could imagine.
I don't want to know. Maybe Chauncey will do a story next week about how Whitney Houston's body was molested. It seems like he's like the go-to person for all things Whitney's death.
For a second there, I thought your dog was molesting your couch. He's just trying to dig.
Yeah, he's trying to get to China.
But
he's
then
just
again,
digging a
like,
hole.
Yeah. He's chewing on stuff that he probably shouldn't be chewing on too.
I'm sure he is. So families are protesting outside of a funeral home in Ohio where they were told that a part-time employee sexually assaulted their loved ones.
That happens a lot. I mean,
That's
you got to
gross,
imagine.
though.
You got to
That's
imagine
so-
it's a very strange thing to be doing to begin with.
Yeah.
One of the
Yes.
one of the women, the victims, who's obviously dead, it's a 51-year-old Chrysler employee who died from multiple organ failure at a hospice. So-
Do they actually have sex with the dead bodies?
Well, it doesn't specify what kind of molesting occurred.
how do they know? How would they know that?
Yeah, how do they know?
I don't know.
Like, what are they, like, dust for fingerprints before they bury them?
I think he was actually only charged with fondling.
So he fondles the dead
I think he
bodies.
fondles.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is creepy.
I don't know. Well,
But they're
apparently
dead.
this is how he got caught. So another employee witnessed the coworker
Fondling
the corpse.
Fondling it in what way?
It doesn't specify.
Oh, that's whack.
Fondling is in quotations. If they didn't go to police, making the incident public record, they said that they would dismiss the $11,000 cost of the funeral service. But the family decided against that settlement and has
Decided
brought
to
it
go for more.
That's
it's
creepy,
made it
man.
public, yeah.
Oh, you
But
gotta.
I thought that it's not rape if it's dead.
There has to be some sort of damage there. I wonder what happened to like when I hear these stories, I really question like what happened when they were a kid.
Yeah.
Like where your life has led you to the point that you're working in a funeral home and you're fondling the dead bodies. Like that's where you're at right now in your life. Like there has to be
It's like
some sort like you didn't go to school, had a decent job, and then you started fondling dead people. Like there has to be
where does that
like
lead?
a disconnect in life.
Where does that lead? Like, like some people when they're kids, they torture little animals. They become like grow up to become like psychopathic murderers. What is like?
Well, you could tell, like when that happens, like you could tell because they start killing animals, like little.
That's what I'm
animals.
saying. They start killing
small.
animals. But what does fondling dead bodies lead to?
Well, look at the people that bang like the real dolls. Like that's a bizarre. I'm sorry, but
you know what though? It's
that's
not.
fucked up.
It's fucked up, but I don't think it's as disgusting as
a dead body. No,
fondling a dead body.
listen, no, it's not as disgusting as a dead body, but it's nearly there. You're having sex with nearly a dead woman. Like that's what it's like. It's dead weight. It's not real. How can you? Let's break this down. How can you be in a relationship with a
big
doll?
rubber woman?
And what's fucked up is that we entertain this idea. Like we entertain the idea that there's a guy in a relationship with a $6,000 doll, and he puts his penis in her,
Right.
like, and he has an intimate relationship with her, and we entertain this, and we got to talk to this guy like he's normal. I was watching a documentary on people that fall in love with inanimate objects, and this woman is in love with the Berlin Wall, and what she wants to do, like, she has a relationship with the Berlin Wall, and she has a little like model of the Berlin Wall, and she has sex with the Berlin Wall. Like she rubs up on the Berlin Wall, and she got permission to sleep in the lookout area for the Berlin Wall, like where the Berlin Wall was. And the guy's like entertaining the thought that she's in a relationship with her. And rather than turning around and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? You're in a relationship with a wall?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of crazy out there.
But we entertain the crazy. And I think that's irresponsible.
There's a woman that eats rocks.
Yeah. And we entertain that. Like we talk to her like she's a normal person. Someone should hit her in the head, make her go to sleep, and then take her and drag her and lock her away somewhere. That is not a normal way of functioning. You should be locked up if you eat rocks.
Well,
like you're
not
eating
hurting anyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, if you
But
pay
she
if you
can.
pay $6,000 for a doll, if you pay a certain amount of money for a model Berlin Wall, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
She should be put asleep. Like she should be just put out. I find nothing wrong with that.
Why? So the guy in the morgue can fondle her
So
dead body?
Yeah.
No, I mean that's you're no use to society. You're eating
Or as she's dying.
like the woman that's dying because like 50 people a year die because of eating like cotton. Like they eat weird shit. Like they die because they ate Pica
is the name of the disease.
Yeah, they should all be sent to some sort of farm colony.
There's a woman who drinks urine.
Oh, delicious.
No, there's something wrong. And
That's wrong. That's
and
bad.
it's totally
Like, that's
irresponsible. We're totally irresponsible for entertaining these crazy thoughts. Like that guy that bangs the real dolls. I listened to an interview of his.
So, New Yorkers were all abuzz that Tim Tebow was headed over to the Jets.
Oh, they're gonna eat him alive here in New York. This virgin shit's not gonna work.
It just came out today that there might actually be a little snag in his plans.
Oh.
The Denver Broncos traded the quarterback Tim Tebow to the New York Jets, and then the Jets gave up a 4th-round pick and the 6th-round pick for Tebow. And now there's something in his contract apparently that might actually nullify the trade. So we're gonna have to find out. We'll have to wait and see. We're all waiting.
No, I think he's going to stay. But first of all, he's not that good. He's an 18th round draft pick. No. Sanchez was a better quarterback than him. This guy, he got popularity for being a virgin. That's why he became a big sensation, because he's a virgin. I don't think in New York that's going to work. Like in Denver, I could understand that.
Right.
But in New York, he's going to be a joke.
Yeah.
Like, we used to make fun of Eli Manning because he was a little nerdy looking. Like, the brother's the better one with Giselle Bundchen, you know? Mm-hmm. He's like the nerdy guy that married the high school sweetheart.
Right.
Like, and we make fun of him.
Right.
Like, he's like a pimp now compared to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get a taste in New York, and he's just going to be fucking everything.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So, a new study came out that said that young adults drink more when in the company of heavier drinkers.
No.
Which I don't understand why this was even a study, because of course they drink more. I don't understand why this is important. But it's scientifically confirmed now that there is a link between observing young adults, watching others drink, and then your drinking habits yourself.
Chicago Dave says, I forgot to take my happy pill. I just took it mid-show.
Okay.
I should be fine by the end of the show.
Good.
Don't you drink around heavy? Like, you drink more when some people are drinking around you.
Of course.
No,
like,
I just when I go out, I just drink heavy anyway.
Now that since we've been together, how much more do you drink now with me? A lot.
Well,
like, you drink a lot more with me than you would with anybody else.
I was 19 when I met you.
Yes, you were, but you drink a lot more.
Okay. I also drink more now than when I was 7.
Together,
that doesn't make me.
Coco, you drink a lot more when you're around me.
No, I just drink a lot more when I'm around.
Anything.
That's it. When I'm around alcohol, you know.
I like drinking. I enjoy it.
I have fun too, but you know what it is? Like, I do overdo it. When I'm out, it's like on St. Patty's Day, like I had to like stop myself at 3 as opposed to 4 and be like, okay, I need to leave.
No, I finished the bottle of Pinot Grigio and I was fine.
I usually close the bar out. Like, I'm usually there when they're like, all right, guys, we're closing. I'm like, all right.
You want to hear something weird?
Let's go get some diner.
When I was at the bar on St. Patrick's Day, this woman came by and she ordered a drink. And the bartender, by mistake, turned around and was like, oh, to stay or to go? And he's like, oh, and she's like, to stay. I'm like, oh, that's a stupid question. I'm like, she's like, I don't know why I said that. And this girl, young girl, like not young, maybe like 20, 21, Spanish girl, like big hoop earrings. He goes, are you fucking kidding me? To go? That's disgusting. And I turned around as a joke. I'm like, oh, I do it all the time. And she goes, that's illegal, what you're doing. That's illegal.
What?
You cannot drink in public. And you're going to drive like that with an open container? And now, like, I'm like, I ignored it. I was with Adam. And I ignore it. And she's like, I can't believe. And she turns to the boyfriend. He goes, he just confessed to drinking and driving with an open bottle of wine. And I turn around. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? I'm like, I just made a joke to you that they're giving me open container. I'm like, and number 2, it's not illegal to have a sealed container. I'm like, people do it all the time. Right. You could have a drink in a bag and drink in public. He goes, that is disgusting and should be illegal. Someone should call the police on this place.
Are you going to send her to Crystal Waters?
No, someone should just fucking punch her in the
Send her to Crystal Lake.
Annoying bitch. And you know what she was doing? She ordered food, right? And they have to cook the food, obviously. And she was angry that it wasn't ready within 5 minutes. She was screaming. Crazy guy. And then the boyfriend's like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
All right. Well, a French gunman was killed. Gunman was killed in a violent end in an apartment siege. An Al Qaeda. That's what that's like really specific.
Apartment siege.
An Al Qaeda linked gunman was accused of assassinating.
Al Qaeda gunman was caught.
Al Qaeda gunman
was accused.
I got a gun, man. My gun,
sounds
man.
like his name, Al Qaeda gunman.
Yeah.
Was accused of assassinating Jewish children and French paratroops and was killed on Thursday.
Local Queens resident Al Qaeda gunman.
So.
Yeah, they caught him.
All right, so Mike the Situation, Sitch, is on the crack.
No, he's not on crack.
No, he's not. Apparently, he's in rehab for, quote, rest and recuperation.
Yeah.
He
Same
has,
thing I suffer from.
Yeah, he checked himself into rehab, but all of his people are saying that it's just for rest because, some go on vacation, others go to rehab. But Mike is doing well. He claims he does not have a drug problem. Sources from his Jersey Shore cast say he doesn't have a drug problem either. But, ex-cast member Angelina said, quote, when he was on the show, he got in trouble for having a lot of prescription pills.
Really?
And when we were filming in Miami, one of the producers said, hey, what is that? He had to give it up. So
he has a pain pill problem, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, we know people that know him.
Yes, we do.
And remember those stories that we were told.
I guess I'll tell the story. I don't care. Chauncey told us a story.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. He told us a story. What am I going to do? He told
What
us
am I
going to
do? Maybe not tell the story.
No, I don't care.
Right, allegedly.
It happened. It's already out. It told us a story that he... it was in the paper that the brother was involved in some, he got very hands-on with a girl in a limo. It was, almost, very close to rape, allegedly. And they were all just doing lines of blow, allegedly. Allegedly. And he tried to blackmail situation to coming on the show. Yeah. And then when he didn't, he leaked the story out. Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah. But he looks like a dopey guy. He's like an illiterate
I don't understand why
idiot.
people find him attractive.
His face looks like it got beat up bad.
It really,
Who is
really
this?
does. Situation?
What does he look like? Oh wait,
Like leather?
He was at the Charlie Sheen roast, right?
Yeah, no personality.
He-
Well, his father has another video out. Remember the father's videos about him?
Yeah. Oh, there's another one out?
There's another one
Yeah.
out. And apparently when he was 27, he was entered into rehab twice.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Florida with the father, and the father sent him to rehab for pills. And he came out of a 7-day rehab, then went into a 30-day rehab, and then the father says he made the mistake of sending him to New Jersey to live with the brother and the sister-in-law, and it just fucked him up, and he went back on drugs. Allegedly, of course, according to the father. I feel like him and Michael Lohan are the same person. Like his father and Michael Lohan, it's nearly the same guy.
All right. So a mysterious boom rattled residents in a Wisconsin town. People are describing the boom as a thunder-like noise that was vibrating and shaking houses. And officials received nearly 100 calls about this unexplained shaking. They all got together and discussed it, and nobody can figure out what this huge boom was. It happened at around 8 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., and 2 a.m. They still have not figured it out. All they have come up with, all 4,600 residents were invited to a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the situation, and the only thing they were able to find out and to conclude was all the things it wasn't.
Aliens.
But they still haven't been able to find out what it was.
Aliens.
So, maybe.
It's the only explanation.
I don't know.
Do you remember when the city smelled like, what did it smell? It smelled like maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
So weird.
Yeah.
It was really bizarre.
It
All
was.
of Manhattan all of New York City smelled like maple syrup.
That was the best.
That might
Yeah.
have just been you. You might have just been having a stroke.
No, it was a whole
Delicious.
thing.
No, it was delicious.
You woke up
Smelling.
one day and the entire city smelled like maple syrup, and people started freaking out, like, oh, what is this? What's going on? It was some refinery in Jersey that the wind blew all the smell over.
Yeah.
The entire city
Yo,
smelled
if
like
that-
maple syrup.
Like honestly, if that was like the end of the world, like if we were about to die and we smelled maple syrup, I wouldn't be like outside of my house like, oh my god, what's that smell? I wouldn't give a fuck. It smells like maple syrup.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Well, there was
smell-
another time that the entire city smelled like rotten eggs.
Yeah, that wasn't as
We
fun.
were away though for that.
That
we were
wasn't
on a
as fun.
cruise.
And
I don't remember that. This whole city always smells like freaking rotten eggs, man. What are you talking about?
Do you remember the smell after
There's always
9/11?
bad smell.
You know what that was? Burnt flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So a
You're
North
a
Carolina
pig,
school
dude.
sent
That's
out
gross.
a letter that officials are calling, quote, poorly worded, where it asked children to dress in, quote, African American attire
Jesus Christ.
or animal print to celebrate Black History Month.
Really?
Yeah, the letter went home to groups of children.
So a Biggie Smalls rest in peace shirt or leopard print.
Or leopard print. The letter went home to a group of children that went to Western Union Elementary School.
Western
Really?
Union.
So yeah, they're saying that it was poorly worded. They're gonna have a talk with the principal to tell
What were they trying to say?
So what do
though?
they say? Dress in African
American clothing
clothing
or
leopard
animal
print.
That's all it
I,
said.
or animal print.
Why,
Yeah.
why would they even send that? Like that's really dumb.
I don't know.
How many kids came to school like with baggy pants and like a do-rag?
Right? I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean? I would love to know how many like parents like, okay, let's just go to like
I don't know.
I'm just kind of
Store
laughing
and
at what Suncast wrote.
blackface.
That's kind of bad.
Yeah. You can wear blackface.
All right. So a professor has
What's worse, Joss? Blackface or a swastika on your forehead? You got to pick one.
Wow.
You got to pick one. Swastika on your
Both
forehead.
will get you
with-
killed. Both will definitely
totally
get
get you
you killed.
killed, but I'm gonna go with blackface.
You think blackface is worse than a
Yeah.
swastika on your forehead?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if you actually look into the history of the swastika, it was used. I mean, it's not a good symbol by any means, but it was used many, many, many years before Hitler used it. And you can make an argument that you,
Hitler
Right.
was not a bright man.
No.
Like, even the word Aryan is not what he thinks it is. Like, the Aryan race are actually Indians, like Hindus, Persians, and Armenians. We are Aryan. You could tell by my blonde hair and blue eyes. But, yes, blackface is very offensive. Except for when Billy Crystal does it. Then it's fine.
Or Ted Danson.
Or Ted Danson. Ted Danson could do blackface as well. I don't know. That's stupid. They probably meant like African clothing. I guess that's what they meant. Right? Like, what does leopard print have to do with African American? What is like?
I think they meant like
I imagine
like
people coming out like
jungle-
Louis Farrakhan, like wearing like Louis
Safari.
Farrakhan's shirt. Like that has nothing to do with jungle print. Has nothing to do with African American, like Black History Month.
yeah, I know. I don't know.
Like Dr. King, he loved leopard print. Like,
Right.
that's so stupid. Why would you even tell your kids to go dress up? It's not the Lion King. What
No.
state was this?
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like go to school wearing a bear.
Yeah, it was not well thought out.
No, not very well
No.
thought out.
Who's that? Like this was a teacher's idea.
A principal.
A principal.
A principal said no. Okay. So
That's, like wear a Biggie
Yeah.
Smalls t-shirt
Yeah.
Right.
or
so wrong.
Like Bloods and Crips make
What?
peace.
leopard print stretchy pants.
All right. So Anastasia Korkova
I would come in like
dead at 105 years old, the oldest Russian woman who survived 2 world wars,
How did she die?
finally committed suicide.
She couldn't take it anymore.
she
she
lived through
just-
2 world wars.
She survived 2 world wars and then committed suicide.
Yeah, she said she was tired of waiting to die.
Yeah. and
I
When
understand.
she might have been the
Yeah.
war ghoul.
It's not really committing suicide at that point. She just checked out.
yeah.
Yeah, at that point it's just like
Done.
I'm done.
yeah, exactly. It's like all right, my bucket list has been complete for like 50 years. Survived 2 wars, check.
Right.
2 world wars.
And like
check.
2 world wars in like Russia.
Right. Mark
Like
it.
that's not good.
No. All right, so a pink-haired student was finally invited back to school. The school had barred a 6th grader after she dyed her hair pink with her parents' blessing to celebrate her good grades, and they banned her from the school. And there were outcries from civil rights advocates, and after missing 3 days of classes, the pink-haired Brianna Moore headed back to her middle school.
Why did they
in
ban her?
Newark, Delaware, for having pink hair.
Was it a private school?
It doesn't specify, but
You know, Malloy here.
yeah, you couldn't have even-
highlights.
all the guys in Malloy have pink hair.
they weren't allowed to have highlights in their hair.
You couldn't have highlights. You couldn't have anything. I went to
Well,
actually
Malloy's-
a more of a relaxed all girls Catholic high school, but I remember like cousins and friends of mine that went to other schools and they weren't allowed to wear any sort of makeup whatsoever. No nail polish. I mean, we had
No makeup at all.
no makeup at all. We had uniform shoes, and that was pretty much as bad as it got. We had these like disgusting little nun shoes that we had to wear, but they were not allowed to have any sort of nail polish whatsoever on their fingers. They were not allowed to have any sort of makeup whatsoever. I remember my cousin getting detention because she had gone to a wedding the night before, and so like they went to get manicures or whatever, and she went to school the next day with a French manicure, and she got a detention for it.
I would definitely wear nun shoes
Oh, they were so ugly.
made of my first grade teacher's skin.
Okay.
She was a nun. I hated her.
Coco's hatred towards teachers.
Hatred towards teachers.
Mostly nuns, though.
But the shoes were ugly.
So was she.
No, these shoes were really bad, and we tied them to the fence when we left. There was like 250 pairs of shoes all tied to the fences outside. All right, so a 400-pound gorilla escaped.
Okay.
In Buffalo, so that's not good.
And then did you see what he did?
He escaped. He bit a female zookeeper.
Coco, why'd you bite him?
That's not funny.
Before being tranquilized and captured.
Coco the gorilla.
That was funny. That was funny.
In what the SWAT team calls the scariest thing they've ever done.
Having to capture a gorilla.
Yeah, capture a gorilla.
Not a standoff at Waco.
No.
The SWAT team has their priorities really high.
All right, we're on the last news story.
Thank God.
All right, so a woman was busted after bragging on a radio show that how she avoided jury duty.
Wow.
A Denver woman went on this morning radio show and kind of discussed how she decided to, quote, look disheveled and uncoordinated in her fashion. And it made her look like she had a mental disorder. She was on NBC affiliate KUSA TV, and the 57-year-old had just the worst luck in the world because the judge that was proceeding over the hearing remembered her and pressed charges.
Oh, what an asshole.
Yeah. And so he says the defense will show that she did knowingly lie about a material fact. Bragging about getting out of jury duty is a little bit like bragging about cheating on your taxes.
No, it's not.
So, yeah.
Why do you know what's amazing? They don't care. They want people that don't want to be there to be there.
Yeah.
And we see what happens because juries, the people are such.
When I was called for jury duty, there was this like crazy lady who the lawyer said, can you state your name, whatever, and she just went off like screaming at him. I can't be here. I started a business. I don't have time for this. I need to leave. I need to leave right now. This is taking up too much of my time. She just kept going on and on and on and on and on.
And
why would you want that?
Why would they do?
The lawyer was nice and gave her an out because then they were asking her like, could you preside fairly? Can you look at the situation fairly? And she was like, I can't because I don't have the time. And like she just kept repeating that.
I've never been called.
And so the lawyer was just like, are you saying that you have fears that because you started a new business that your mind would be wandering during the court proceedings? And she said yes. And so he said, okay, you're dismissed.
I've never been called.
Really?
Like I've been called and I had an out because I had a business and I couldn't leave my business. So I sent them a letter and they okayed it. Mm-hmm. And the last time I called, I guess I had to call to see if they wanted me, and they didn't want me.
Yeah.
And they never called me since.
Yeah. Well, I've only gone one time.
But how many times? There was a time frame that I was getting like the cards like every couple months.
Yeah.
And now I don't get them anymore.
Yeah.
Weird.
Strange.
All I would need to tell them is I do a radio show.
Maybe.
Maybe
they wouldn't.
They just have to. They probably know.
I wanted to get picked so badly
because it was an interesting case.
It was such an interesting case. I wanted to be picked.
It was a Casey Anthony trial.
It was. Okay. On that note, that's it.
That's it. Don't ask you what, Coco. Don't ask me. Don't ask you what.
Just don't.
I don't know what he.
Do you have any plugs?
Well, yeah. Tomorrow night is the free for all. I might be here. And that's pretty much it. Follow me on Twitter, Cocoa Butter GFQ. Find me on Facebook, be my friend. Facebook.com/Cocoa Butter FO. There's also the Cocoa Butter Experience on Facebook. Okay. You can like that. And watch the free for all tomorrow, even if I'm not here.
Okay, thank you.
Follow me on Twitter.
Jessica Zarian.
Jessica Zarian.
Zarian or Jessica? Jessica Zarian.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica Zarian. Follow me on Twitter now.
And you can follow me at Andrew Zarian. We'll see you all next week.